Good morning. Hi guys, my name is Jack. I'm a digital designer, and today we are going to be designing a guitar pedal. About 3 or 4 years ago, I had this idea to design a guitar pedal for my fiance, then boyfriend, for his birthday. Dylan, my fiance, his best friend Joe is an electrical engineer and also a musician. So him and I kind of figured out this idea together that I would do the artwork for the pedal and he would engineer it. And so we kind of had this like fun little company, I guess, called Lady Knackered. And we decided that this was going to kind of become a little hobby of ours. And unfortunately, I got pretty busy with my life, so I've only been able to make the artwork for 2 pedals in the last 4 years. He has engineered multiple, but he would like a design for another one. So that's where this comes into play. It's called the Ouroboros. If you aren't sure what an Ouroboros is, I would definitely look into it because they're really interesting, but the definition of it is a circular symbol depicting a snake, or lesser known, a dragon, that is eating its tail, and it symbolizes wholeness or infinity. It's kind of an emblem for that. In addition to the Ouroboros, Joe and Dylan had this really awesome idea to also make it a Mobius strip. If you aren't familiar with what a Mobius strip is, it's a surface with only one side, even though it looks like multiple sides. If you were to take a pen and start at a point and draw on it, without picking up your pen, you would draw on visually every surface that there is, which is just one. So we're going to take this idea of an Ouroboros of a snake eating its tail in an infinite loop, but also turn that into a Mobius strip as well, so the snake is seemingly one-sided. So that is the design direction that we are going to be going in, the inspiration of it. Joe has also already engineered the pedal to have a specific sound, so he created a phaser pedal modeled off of the MXR Phase 90. The phaser pedal makes a warble sound effect that is connected to the LED light that he has within the pedal. I'll show a little video of the prototype playing right now so you can see what that looks like. So basically, the synchronicity of the LED with the wobbly sound in the phaser pedal and the interesting design that's going into it, this pedal is going to just be like really fun to make. A little quick disclaimer, when I created the logo for Lady Knackered, it was 3-4 years ago, so it's not necessarily something that I would create now. I think that the branding needs updating, but I think that's going to be a future video of rebranding this little guitar pedal business that we have going on. So if I do choose to include the logo on the pedal, which is pretty normal, please don't judge it too hard because it will be getting a little refresher update. Now that we've gone over the kind of pedal that we're making and a little bit of the direction we're going in, we can move on to the next steps. So there's going to be 3 more parts. We are going to do just a little bit more research and some mood boarding to get a clear understanding of what goes on a pedal. It's been a while since I've designed one, so I think that that's important. We're going to do the actual design of the pedal, and then we are going to mock up some really cool things. So without further ado, let's get into the researching and mood boarding. Okay, so I have already gone ahead and gone through Pinterest and then created my mild, medium, and spicy boards. I always think that I'm just doing this for like someone else, but every single time that I have created these, it's made me want to go into a different direction than I thought I wanted to go in. So let's start off with mild. This one is going to be kind of funky, kind of vector-y based illustrations. I would say that that's my style more so than anything else. That's where I feel the most comfortable. So I placed this into the mild category. I came up with a couple different fonts that could work, and I found some like inspirational style photos that I wanted to kind of play on. So as you can see, some of these images are just a little bit more vector-y, if that makes sense. So they're not complicated designs. This one has a little bit more intricacy to it, but as you can see, it's just like kind of simple shapes, simple illustrations. You get the point. So if you can imagine, the snake would be not exactly in this style, but kind of less shading, less intricate details, honestly. So if you can kind of picture that, and then The color palette is a little safe, but I think would really fit in with the illustrations. It has a definite feeling to it. So that concludes the mild section, and so let's move on to the medium. This one also isn't too crazy out there, but it's outside of my style that I usually design in. So I placed that into the medium category. There are the green tones for the snake, but I also threw in this like purpley blue color. As you can see, all of the inspirational photos are either 2 or 3 toned images, and they're kind of like an engraving style. These are all playing with different dimensions within the photo with like very few colors. I just really like the way that this looks. It's seemingly simple, but actually extremely intricate. I feel like you could stare at this one for a really long time and find new pieces within it. It's super outside of my comfort zone, so I don't know exactly how well it would go. But as you can see, the medium is kind of a 2 to 3 toned sketch style with a lot of details within, but seemingly simple, and kind of a bold, chunky type face. So that is going to be the conclusion of the medium section, and then we'll move on to the spicy. So this one came to me out of nowhere. I actually saw this tattoo and it kind of sparked some interest in me. So again, it's really important to go through the research process and kind of come up with different kinds of mood boards, because you never really know what direction you can find yourself falling in. This one is really inspired off of traditional tattoos. I think that it's even more outside of my comfort zone than the medium one, but I also think that this one would kind of be the most fun. I really love the colors. I must be really drawn to this like orangey red color because of the hot sauce one that I just did, but I love it. And then the random kind of light teal blue that you see here is just, maybe that's turquoise. Yeah, the random turquoise that's thrown in is really awesome with this like bright, bold ochre yellow orange color. I think is really awesome. And then just little uses of the green really kind of throws you off of when you're thinking of a snake. You know, snakes are traditionally green, so when you're only using it limited within a snake, I think that that's like a really interesting use of color in a way you wouldn't really expect it. So that is the spicy version, all finished and completed. So now it's time to decide which one I want to go with. I'm really drawn to the medium color palette, but I'm pulled in the full idea direction of the spicy. So I think it's safe to say that the mild is going to be out, which is funny because that's the direction I wanted to go in. So that's interesting. So I guess it's just between these two. I think based off of the sketch idea, this 2 to 3 toned one here makes the most sense, but I think I'm gonna rebel and go against the system, and I'm gonna do this like traditional style Ed Hardy weird vibe to it. And Joe, if you're watching and you wish I did it in the second style, let me know. I'd be happy to remake it. But like, to me, this spicy direction is like, it's the only way, man. It's the only way that I can go through with it. So I apologize. I think it's safe to say we're going spicy route, and that means that step 1 is complete of research / stylescaping, mood boarding, whatever you want to call it, and we will be moving into step 2, which is the actual design of the petal and getting the template set up and all of our assets and resources in one spot. So let's get into it. Okay guys, we are on step 2 of the process, and it is officially past 5:30, so I am drinking a mango truly. And step 2. So I can't stress enough how important it is to get your workspace set up before you begin anything. So here I have the dimensions for the petal that I will be working on. This was given to me by Joe. However, he just found it online on the website where we will be ordering the enclosures from. And then I also have the sketches that I will be pulling on already loaded into my Illustrator file before beginning, so I have somewhat of an idea of where we will be heading. This sketch actually wasn't done by me. It was done by my fiance Dylan. He is a wonderful artist, and I feel very lucky to have him on my team for things like this. So big thank you to him, and love you. You're upstairs, so this is weird. I also have an image that Joe sent me of the prototype where he has all of his knobs and LED switches and things like that I need to be mindful of while I'm designing. So I will keep that in this document so that I have reference to it. And now it's just going to be about getting into the design part. So without further ado, let's do it. I'm starting by doing a quick outline of the snake using the pencil tool. I'm going to use the sketch beneath to give me a good starting point, but also combine the two inspirational snake traditional style tattoos, and I'm combining those all together to create more of one cohesive look. So I'm going to go ahead and use the live paint tool to fill in the color. There are 100 ways to do one thing in Illustrator, and just kind of figuring out what tool makes sense when is really going to help streamline your design process. And that's kind of what I'm doing, is experimenting with different tools to see when they make the most sense. And this one with the sketched outline first makes the most sense for me to use the live paint tool. So yeah, I would just really urge you to learn the differences between each of the tools, even if there are similar ones that exist, and just trying to figure out when they actually make the most sense to use. So I just spoke with Joe, and the prototype that he sent me, where the knobs are too close to the edges. So the design that I have for the notches on the volume goes outside of the safety line, which is an issue. But he just let me know that the knob placements don't have to be exactly where they are, and that even some of the holes that were drilled in there aren't going to be there on the final one. So where I have these circles placed to kind of design around aren't going to be the final placement. So I'm just going to mock up the pedal in a couple different ways with different knobs, and we can kind of get a feeling of what looks the best, and also he can see what is most realistic for the electrical engineering process. My screen recording cut out during my mock-up design of the pedals, which is really unfortunate, but I am also going to do some guitar picks as well, so I will show you a little bit of what that looks like. So I have everything mocked up and ready to go, and here it is now. That was Lady Knackered's Ouroboros guitar pedal all finished up. I'm really happy with the way everything went. It's not in the usual style that I would do, but that's kind of the fun of it. It was a little bit of a design challenge, and as always, if you have any tips or tricks for me that would make my process a little bit better, I'd love to hear them. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching me and enjoyed this process. I'm probably going to be mocking up other guitar pedals, and there will definitely be a Lady Knackered brand redesign at some point, so keep your eyes out for that. Thank you for watching. I had a really good time, so I hope you did too. Alright guys, I'll see you next Thursday, and I hope you have a good night.